welcome to The Scoop. This is where we talk to different players throughout Europe about their experiences and what's going on in the locker room of these players here in Europe. This segment is brought to you by K-Noah Sports and Apparel, as well as the Athletes Forum, where you can get all your inside locker room news. Today, we're talking to Ryan Tuiasoa. What's going on, my man? Did I get it right? That's it, right?
Hey, you got it right, man. Ryan Tuiasoa, man.
Hey, that's all it's about, trying to pronounce people's names, man. But how are you doing out there, man? We heard that you're in Warsaw. Is that how you say it? Warsaw?
Warsaw.
Yeah. You're in Poland.
I know, that was tough,
The
man.
Panthers, Poland. I never say it right, and people keep saying, you're saying Warsaw. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying.
I hear you, man. I thought it was Rocklaw at first.
Yeah. I mean, that's easier to differentiate from Warsaw, that's for sure. But, yeah, man, we wanted to ask you guys, you just opened up the season in Poland, LFA, and just to say it nicely, you destroyed the Tuhi Falcons. What was it, 50-0? Was that the score?
Like 51-0 or something like that. Yeah. We were a big at half.
Yeah, man. Tell us a little bit about the game. We're not going to talk too much about the game because people that's not what they're here for. But tell us a little bit about this first game.
I mean, really, we kind of came out and just did exactly what we kind of planned, The team here is really balanced. We're being led by one of the domestic quarterbacks, and we just killed it, firing on all cylinders. Defense, special teams, offense. We made a lot of mistakes because it was the first game, but really just these guys were real hungry to play. It's been like an 8-month preseason or something like that, so everybody was fired up. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome to hear. I mean, that's one of the best organizations out here in Europe as well, the Panthers. Much love and appreciation to them. But let's talk about you, Ryan. We've gotten to know you over the years because, we're tied to Finland here.
Exactly.
And you've made a name for yourself out here. Tell us a little bit. There might be people watching this who might not know your, backstory. Tell us a little bit about your experience in international football and how you got to, Warsaw, right? Warsaw. How you got to the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'll never say it right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first year was a little bit of a mess. I came in, I was gonna play for the Hamelina Huskies at the time, and they were a Maple League team. I'm sure you remember them.
Yeah.
And then man, it was like, I think after 2 weeks of being here, they folded, and I was just kind of stuck out there. So I got picked up by the 2020 First Division champs, UNC Crusaders. Congratulations to them. Just want to say that.
Shout out to the Crusaders.
Shout out to the Crusaders. That's my boys. But yeah, so I ended up going to them to the city of Lohja, and it was just that was really my first taste of European football. So it was a surprise. It was real fun. The guys on that team were real cool. Man, I guess I just got addicted to it then. So we had a rocky season, but it was just a ton of fun.
Yeah, and then
that's really all I can say, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know after that you ended up in, was it Hungary last season?
Yeah. So then after that, I went to Hungary, and we won the championship over there last year. Another great experience. That's another great organization. They're kind of on the up and coming. I think Hungary is kind of one of the less talked about places with the European football, but I think it has some potential for the future, especially with that team.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a little bit more about Hungary because it's one of those countries where a lot of players have spent time there or play a season there, but like you said, it's not as talked about as some of these bigger countries, like Poland, Finland, France, even Italy,
right.
Places like that. People talk about it quickly. What is about the experience you had in Hungary do you think would, entice players in the future to continue going there?
That's a interesting topic to bring up because I had heard a lot of things about Hungary before I had even gone there, but I was just really sold on this organization, that team that brought me in. And my experience when I got there is that they're really trying to take this thing to the next level. I think they were pretty casual before, but they really want to make this a lot more, a bigger league in Europe. They have all the games are broadcasted on the TV. They have, some of the teams are coming into more money and starting to take this a lot more seriously. So I can't really speak for the other teams in Hungary, but especially the Enthroners. It's almost like where I imagine Panthers probably were like years before. They're trying to get into international competitions, and the bottom line is I think guys are just learning the sport more. You know what I mean? Just getting more experience, more years playing, and I wouldn't be surprised if you see some teams, doing well internationally fairly soon. So it's definitely was like a super positive experience. So I could recommend that place to anybody really.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of things about it. Just you never really know what's going to happen, and like you said, it's up and coming, so that's always good. But let's talk about the situation now. You're in Poland. Obviously, the COVID situation changed everything for everybody's like off season, where you're going, who's signing. How did it come about that you ended up with the Panthers? I'm not even trying to say the city name.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
So I enjoyed my Hungarian team enough that I was going to re-sign with them. So I was actually already in Hungary since like January. We were expecting to play a season, and we were there training. And the week before our season started, the virus shut everything down. So our team pulled out of the league, and we were just kind of stuck. There was 4 American imports there, and we were just kind of hanging around. And so I started looking for new teams, and almost immediately the Panthers, contacted me. And I guess they had something similar where the league got postponed, and they had sent guys home, so they were looking for some imports, and everything kind of just like lined up perfectly. And so I came in here, and it's been crazy, but it's really kind of like an interesting season all over Europe, especially like you see in Finland too. It's kind of like one of those situations where you see guys going there that maybe normally wouldn't have been signed to there, and it's making for real good competition. And we're kind of seeing something similar like that in Poland right now. A lot of bigger name, if you want to call it that, signings or whatever, coming into the league. And I think it's going to be, real competitive, even though it's a short season. So I'm excited to see how things are going to happen.
If it's anything like what we actually earlier we talked about the Maple Bowl here in Finland and how this season has transpired. If it's anything like this, you're in for it, because we've seen a lot of different things this year in Finland, and I would probably assume the same thing in Poland. How much do you know about the league situation they have there? Because I've been told that there's attempting to rejoin their different leagues for next season. Do you have any information, or have you heard about that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the wrong person to ask about the real details of it, but from what I understand, the Polish league was split up into 2 separate organizations or governing bodies.
Yeah, there's the PLFA and then there's the LFA. They split a few years ago, but now there's talk about reconciliation or going back to being just one unified league.
Right. So from what I understand, they are now under one league. So, I mean, and this season's a little bit strange, but I think starting the next year, they're all going to be in the same league, which I mean, hopefully means more games, or maybe they'll split it into like a East-West type of thing. I'm not sure yet, but apparently, from talking from everybody, it's good news. Yeah. So it's good for the future of Polish football. So that's a positive thing.
What about your thoughts on the international scene right now? Excuse me. Like we've seen, like you said earlier, the COVID situation has kind of changed the type of players and how teams are going about recruiting. But what we expect, and again, who really knows, but what we expect is going forward, things will get more into regularity going into 2021. And with that comes the idea of how do different leagues, how do different teams respond to the situation? There's been talk of, the GFL is having its issues. It might not even have a legal or technical legitimate season next year because there's different people in power, different teams want to do different things, et cetera, et cetera. They have all these other leagues that are trying to get back to normalcy. And of course, the import situation is strange everywhere. Will they decrease the rules, change the rules? How are they going to do it here and there? What are your thoughts on, what the sport of American football in Europe could look like next year? Just some random ideas you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's really tough. I know a few other imports. We've been having conversations about, does this mean that a lot of the guys who typically stay in the GFL, are they going to be, spreading out all over the place? Are they going to decrease import rules? Which this I actually think is probably likely in some sense. I think we've seen, besides Germany, you've seen a lot of countries have been slowly cutting down on the number of imports that they're allowed, and this only makes a bigger case for that. We don't even know what the border situation is, if guys can even be flown out from the States to certain countries, and it's really tough to say. But I think it's at the very least, it's good to see that a lot of the different leagues have been getting a little more spotlight maybe than normal. Just for this, even for me, I normally, I'll check out some Germany games. I follow the Maple League, but now I'm watching the Swedish league and the Denmark league that's going on right now. So I think a lot of these leagues at least get a little more exposure. But yeah, who knows what really is going to happen? We're going to have to wait to see. You know what I mean?
It's a crazy situation.
Yeah, it's a really crazy situation.
Q, did you have anything before?
Yeah, you're an Islander, right?
Yeah,
Hawaii?
Yeah. I'm half
All right,
Tongan, but I'm from Hawaii. Yeah.
Okay, you're from Hawaii, so I'll say, "What's up, Oos?"
What are thoughts?
I got one question. I mean, y'all talk about everything, but I got one question only. Are you gonna do the haka in Poland?
Man, why is the number one question I get all the time? Oh man. And it's a big resounding, I don't know, man. That's I don't want to say no off the bat, but that's up to these guys. You know what I mean? I'm not pushing for it, but
yeah, no, I got you. And the other thing, Deontay, he's been around that organization for a few years, won a lot with that organization. Real good friend of mine. We played against each other in Finland for a few years, but. You're definitely part of a great organization. I'll say that. I think even Big Meech is back out there too.
Yeah, Big Meech.
Is Meech out there? That's one of the guys that has. They both, I think, have spent time in Hungary as well. So you guys definitely have some things in common about knowing the different types of football being played out there. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, but I was just saying though that I think you're in good hands as far as organization. I think you picked a good group of guys to be around because they know winning, and definitely just good luck. You know what I mean, with the games that they do have coming up. And it was nice talking to you for sure.
Yeah, man, for real, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look forward to hockey sometime. I'm gonna look forward to that video sometime.
Maybe after the final, if everything goes well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you this last question because it needs to be put out there. Is there a possibility of a return of Ryan Tuiasoa to Finland? 2021, it's coming up. I know you just started in Poland, but is it a possibility? Could it happen?
Yeah. I'll say this. It's like I usually don't make any kind of predictions until it's that time. But I will say that Finland has a special place for me. I really love it there. So I'll always keep it as an option. You know what I mean? So I'll never say no.
Hey, I'm just gonna throw it out there. UNC might be in the Maple League next year. You're already comfortable with the area. Been there before. True, there's a couple more spots. I'm not going to throw the other teams' names out there, but there's a couple more spots that can use your services,
Yeah, man. Shoot. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
Hey, just a little promo. Y'all hit up Ryan after the season. Let him finish what he's doing in Poland. But after the season, hit that boy up. Bring him back to Finland where he belongs. Hey, man, this has been great, though. Like, seriously, we appreciate you talking to us. Had a good time talking to you. Wish you and the Panthers the best of luck, man, and hope you have a great season out there this year.
Right on, man. I appreciate it. It was fun talking with you guys.
All right, take it easy.
Yep, take it easy.